Now, the JSE Top 40 on Friday closed trading just 0.5%, which obviously, if you have to go and check the entire week or last week as to how it moved, you'll notice that it finished the week trading on a red, which is something that obviously it's bringing some panic to, of course, some of the retail investors that are investing onto this index. Now, ladies and gents, this week we've got major news that could either break or make the JSE Top 40. I mean, this coming Wednesday, we've got, of course, the Consumer Price Index for the month of June, which is something that obviously this is one of the main events that obviously consumers or those that are investing in the stock market, retail investors like us and big investors, will be patiently looking or wanting to see how it comes about, because you remember that these measures, or this CPI or core CPI, measures the cost of living in South Africa. And of course, one of the main things that constitute to this cost of living, or the Consumer Price Index, it is the fuel prices. And you will know by now, if you're a South African resident, that obviously 2 weeks back we got to see, of course, petrol rising by over 2 rands, which is something that, of course, the consumers did not like. And that, by the fact that we got to see that, this makes me want to think that if these figures, when they come this week, we might expect to see the consumer or the CPI rising yet again, which is something that will not be good at all, because then that will make the central bank to come out on this day, ladies and gents, and increase interest rates aggressively, because you know that also on this day we are expected to see the central bank coming out with the interest rate figures, which obviously most analysts are believing that of course the central bank is going to come and increase interest rates by around 50 basis point or 0.5%, which obviously will make, if they are to increase it by that, then we're going to see the prime lending going to about 5.25%, which is something that, yeah, it is going to still hurt the consumers, especially those that have loans with banks, and loans that obviously is attached to the interest rates in the country. But again, like I said, we could get to see it increasing by 75 basis points, looking at the fact that I am thinking that, of course, the cost of living, or the CPI, which is coming out on Wednesday, might be worse than what analysts are expecting. Because as in the screen, you notice that analysts believe that this figure, or the CPI, or the core CPI of South Africa, will come out to be around 6.2%. And of course, you remember that the last time these figures were reported for the previous month, and that was for the month of May, they came out to be around 6.5. Now, analysts believe, or are predicting, that it might come around 6.2%, which me personally, I believe that it will be worse than what, of course, analysts are expecting, basing it at the fact that, of course, 2 weeks ago we got a huge jump in petrol prices and diesel prices locally, which is something that, as these petrol and diesel are one of the main factors that influence this consumer price index, is going to definitely, of course, result in, obviously, the core CPI, or the cost of living, to once again be high. We might even see it passing that 6.5 mark, which of course we got to see for the month of May. Now, before I forget, you already know that this video is just an entertainment video, and you should not take it as a professional financial advice video. Now, I really appreciate if you can just hit that like button. If you do, consider this video beneficial, because I'll be telling you of I'll continue telling you of what is it that we can expect, and how will it affect the stock market, or the JSE Top 40. Because, ladies and gents, this week for the SA stock market, or for the local stock market in South Africa, it's a big week, or massive week, because not only are we getting to see the cost of living figures, or the cost of living numbers, but we are also getting to see the central bank coming with the interest rate decision, which is something that so many of the people are patiently waiting to see. And not just retail investors or those that are investing in the stock market, but so many people, especially those that have loans, car loans, house loans, are patiently waiting to see the results of this especially the interest rates decision being, of course, announced by the central bank. So without a waste of time, like I said, I personally believe that, or like I usually say, I personally believe that if we get to see bad figures or things coming out to be worse than what analysts expect on both the consumer price index and the interest rates, we are going to see, of course, the JSE top 40 in terms of the share price dropping, which I personally believe that that is exactly what we are going to see, because like I said, we are going to see the CPI obviously coming out to be worse than what analysts expect, and we might see it heading over 6.5 or heading over that 6.2 that analysts are expecting, due to the fact that, of course, we got to see petrol increasing in terms of its price per liter here in South Africa, I think 2 weeks ago. So I personally think that, yeah, the top 40 this week, I don't know about next week, but this week it might not, or we might continue seeing a further drop on this index, looking at the kind of events that are to take place today. So if you are planning to invest into this, of course, the index, I would personally probably say go in and load the boat probably on Friday after these two events have taken place, because if you are to buy or invest in the top 40 now, beginning of the week, before we get to see these two, of course, events, then you're definitely going to probably regret a bit on Friday, because like I said, I'm expecting a bloodbath on the top 40. So these are the two events that, as a retail investor, you should be closely monitoring this week, because, ladies and gents, like I said, they will be the ones to make or break the local stock market or the indexes like the JSE top 40. I mean, last week in the US, there we got to see the cost of living, or the CPI, rising to 9.1%, which is the highest that it has been in the past 40 years. Which, ladies and gents, if a big country and a strong country with a strong economy like the US is seeing inflation continue to rise, this just definitely means that we are going to see inflation also continue to rise, probably even here in South Africa, which is why I'm saying that even the CPI figures, the CPI numbers, are going to come out to be higher than what analysts expect, which that, my friend, might make or will make the, of course, the local stocks or the local indices like the JSE top 40 to, of course, drop or to plummet in terms of their share prices. Otherwise, with all that, guys, I just thought I should just give you this quick update as to what is it that you need to look out for in the stock market this week. Otherwise, if you enjoyed this video, please consider hitting that likes button, comment, and subscribe. And once you subscribe, don't forget to hit that notification bell so that at least you get notified by YouTube every time I drop or release a new content. Otherwise, that's all from me, and I wish you nothing but the best in your stock market investing journey. And God bless you all.